Get Emmanuel Macron and Angela Merkel are to blame for the ongoing slowdown in the Eurozone. Lorenzo Codogno, the former chief economist and director general at the Treasury Department of the Italian Ministry of Economy and Finance, made the claims against the leaders of France and Germany after a new estimate by Eurostat, the Directorate General of the European Commission, came to light. Mr. Codogno stated GDP growth for the bloc had slowed to 0.4% in the first quarter of 2018 and that Germany and France were responsible. He said, GDP growth slowed to 0.4% in the first quarter of 2018. According to the preliminary flash estimate by Eurostat, Eurozone GDP was up 0.4% quarter-over-quarter and 2.5% year-over-year in the first quarter of 2018. The slowdown comes from Germany and France. The two countries are the largest economies in the trade bloc and are Brussels' most influential member states. Mr. Codogno continued, "We do not yet know the figures from Germany. They will be released on May 15, but GDP growth was likely close to 0.3 to 0.4% quarter-over-quarter in the first quarter of 2018, from 0.6% quarter-over-quarter in the fourth quarter of 2017. The estimate for the French economy was released on the 27th of April. GDP expanded by 0.3% quarter-over-quarter, the weakest pace of expansion since the third quarter of 2016, easing from a 0.7% quarter-over-quarter in the previous quarter. The slowdown was partly due to a more moderate pace of growth in gross fixed investments, 0.6% quarter-over-quarter versus 1.1% quarter-over-quarter in the fourth quarter of 2017. The leading economist insisted that the current state of affairs in the Eurozone is part of an ongoing slowdown that is likely to continue into the second quarter of this year. The second quarter of 2018 takes place from April 1 to June 30. Mr. Codogno also blamed global moderation for the decline in growth. Getty Mr. Codogno also blamed global moderation for the declining growth. Explained, there is an ongoing slowdown in the Eurozone, which is likely to spill over into the second quarter of 2018. This is partly driven by some global moderation, although recent data on trade are still very much upbeat. A recovery in investment activity keeps supporting global GDP growth, which appears to be a phenomenon here to stay for a while. Getty. Lorenzo Codogno made the claims against the leaders of France and Germany. The leading economist stated, risks are looming for the Eurozone in the future with potential trade wars. Mr. Codogno was likely referring to Donald Trump's repeated threats against the European Union that could see tariffs on steel and aluminium hit the bloc. He stated, on the negative side, there are major risks. First, there are potential trade wars, for which actions are luckily still limited, but the potential micro-impact is still deeply underestimated, in my view.